Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla, coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides with Schla. And today, I am still having a lot of thoughts about, the stuff I've been going through. Sorry, for some reason I went to adjust something, and I guess in my brain that made me think, because it's really annoying the way the way my car works. If you don't have it, I don't even feel like explaining all this, but basically I just leave it on the off because the headlights always turn on anyway. So there's not really a reason to switch the thing to headlights on. Because why would I do that? It's just like a waste of switching a switch, which all switches have a, certain lifespan. So why would I turn the thing to switch headlights on if they're just going to turn on anyway? Now, I've wanted to disable that, but you have to pull a fuse. And I was going to do that, but I wanted to get fuse caps, and I couldn't. Well, no, I just didn't. I think I tried looking it up, but there wasn't really a clear answer or something. I'd probably just put some electrical tape over it, I suppose, but that was something I was going to do, but I don't think I ever got around to it. And so I don't feel like switching it. And then if you don't switch it, none of the stuff lights up in the car, even if it's dark. So I wanted to switch the passive vent system to be on the defrost passive as opposed to the air coming at me passive, which is what I usually just have it on, the air coming at me passive. And I couldn't see, so I switched the lights on just to get the backlit so I could see how to switch it. And I think I thought that when I did that, my brain kind of thought I had switched into drive, but I didn't. So I took my foot off the brake, but instead I ended up, going backwards, which kind of threw me off. So then I put my foot back on the brake relatively quickly, and that's what happened. Sorry that took a while. It's just like I'm really not in a good way, given what happened over the weekend and then what happened yesterday. So I honestly don't. Yeah, I mean, I'm not in good shape. My sleep quality last night was pretty terrible for some reason. Although I actually feel relatively great, so I'm not entirely. I mean, I don't know, but I feel pretty great. Despite the sleep tracking saying I should be feeling horrendous right now. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's interesting to me. But we'll see how the day goes. I obviously don't know how I'm going to feel later on. I did leave a little bit earlier today, so we are going to end up getting gas. But, I think the same issue is happening as usual, which is I when there's no traffic, it ends up being harder for me to drive fast, and then I end up losing a lot of time. But I did leave pretty early. I mean, I will have to see how it ends up affecting the time that I get there. But we should be in pretty good shape. I guess I have to, like, try to drive faster, you know? Because I just won't. Like, I'll just end up being chill about it. But yeah, I mean, I'm truly not in a good way right now. I don't really know how else to explain it. I almost, like, I feel pretty depressed, you know? Like, I'm not really at my, like, I don't know. I feel, again, like, it's frustrating, you know, to be, like, I want to work more hours, and my company is not letting me. I mean, do you know how that feels? Like, to be in a position where I have the energy and the mental capacity to work more hours, and the company tells you no? It's really something, isn't it? I mean, I just can't believe the lack of thought about things. And I have no idea what the higher-ups are thinking, but I have a feeling if it's like anybody else in that age range, they just have absolutely no clue about what my generation broadly is going through, and how much it meant to me to be getting those hours that I was getting. I don't think they have a clue. That's what the impression I get from a lot of these older people. You know, and when I say older people, I say kind of like 40s or 50s and older. I mean, these are people where, I don't know, I think a lot of their opinions and perspectives are not super relevant. They're not very, their fingers off the pulse, you know. The thing that really aggravates me is that I don't, and I said this yesterday, I realized it right at the end of the episode, I don't think I got to elaborate on it that much. I don't need to be paid overtime. Like, I don't need that. That's not really, I mean, yeah, of course, overtime is great, but I don't need to be paid overtime. You know what I mean? I want an opportunity to work an excessive amount of hours, and I don't need overtime. Why on earth would the company not allow that? To me, that is ridiculous, because it's probably going to be something where it's just some automated system, and they probably can't just grant me an exception. I honestly have no idea, but it's very frustrating. Like, the whole situation is very frustrating. And basically my whole life, I think I've dealt with this, but it's got worse as I've gotten older, because the older I've got, the more of a comprehension of the system I have now. So I didn't understand the way things worked as well as a teenager. You know, I was always smart, but I didn't know as much. And so and even now, like, in a couple years, I'd probably look back at these moments and think, like, oh man, like, you know, he didn't know this, he didn't know that, because every day, you know, my perspective grows and evolves just with time, right? Like, you do get better. You watch more informative videos with different perspectives, and you learn more. I always think, like, oh, I must have learned everything now, And then it's never like that. Then there's always some other kind of like detail or perspective that you didn't know before. But I was always very intelligent systemically, and had a urge and a yearning to comprehend the system and what's wrong with it, thinking in a big way. And this is the truth, right? I should not need to get a second job. And this is very true. The way things should work is, if I need more money, I should be able to go to my job and do more work for them. That is very possible. There's no reason why I wouldn't be able to do that. It could easily be set up. I absolutely know this is the case. This is in the benefit of the company, because if they're to hire an additional person, I'm sure there's a host of costs that come along with that, mainly being health insurance, which is easily hundreds of dollars a month extra per employee. And obviously, if you just have one employee, you don't even have to pay it. You don't have to pay their health insurance, because you're only paying for one, and you're getting more hours of work out of the person. So it's definitely within a job's financial best interest, if somebody wanted to work more hours, that they should. And then you also have the other point, which for some reason has left my mind. Oh, parking. So when you get into parking spaces, there's obviously a limited amount of space. Some companies, this isn't an issue. Other companies, it is. And so if you have less employees, parking is not that big of a problem. Whereas if you hire a bunch of 40-hour people, then it is. So there's a lot of consequences. There's also space within the building. It's obviously just more costly to have more humans within a building. I think that goes without being said. It just is. I mean, for a multitude of reasons. There's more space being taken up in the fridge for people's lunches and stuff. There's more space in the microwaves, like when, at peak lunch hours, the microwaves get more congested. You just, overall have more people in the way. Like in a perfect world, you would want people working 60-hour weeks. There's no reason why a company wouldn't want that, besides right now, which is there's a stinginess and a greediness, because they can't fathom paying time and a half to give, again, and the time and a half is actually a living wage, which, I mean, that says a lot right there, that the wage is about 50% off. I mean, from a minimum, right? People making higher wages don't have that issue. Just if you're, like more of an entry-level, lower wage worker. That's the main problem. But like I said, I don't need overtime. I would be happy without overtime. Well, maybe we shouldn't go that far. I mean, I'm obviously, I would prefer overtime, of course, but I'm saying I'm okay without it. I don't have to have that. I just like an opportunity. I just want an opportunity to have an outlet, something to pour my time into as a young person. It's the best thing I could do for myself right now, and I don't see why I should have to get a second job somewhere. It just doesn't make any sense. So there's all these systemic kind of issues, and you have to remember too, I'm a person who has potential. I have a lot of potential. It may not be things that have a ton of broad awareness and or appeal, but I do. I really have a lot of speaking skills, but even besides speaking skills, like, I don't know, just competent, even with what I do at my company. Like I said, I do it better than anybody else by like a pretty wide margin. It's not particularly close. So that's something that warrants a job where I could be getting paid more. It's just I don't know where I would find that, because I don't even think any company would pay attention, because I don't have any credentials. And yeah, like, I need to be trained. I'm not saying like, I'm a prodigy or like a savant. Like, I am lacking experience, but again, how do you get the experience? I'm gonna have to get it at some point, and I'm not getting it now. I'm just working an entry-level job, so I'm not really getting any experience. And so it's that cycle. It's that cycle of you just can't even do anything because we need these credentials. And I mean, there's even things like retail where, you would go to apply for a retail job and they'd say, oh, well, minimum year experience in retail required. I bet I would just wipe the floor on a lot of these people. I've seen them. I've seen people who work retail. They're not very good at their jobs, typically. They're not very quick. They're not very good when it comes to mathematical calculations. They're not very good when it comes to speech recognition and being able to figure out what you're supposed to do or what you're asking for. I mean, I've seen it. There's very few people who are actually good. And I would be, but because I don't have a resume where it's like, oh, well, I've worked this for a year, then I just get ignored because then I'm missing a qualification, quote unquote. Makes absolutely no sense. It just doesn't. Now, not saying that I really want to work retail. I don't think that's really where I belong, but I think that I'd be good at it. If the pay was right, I'd do it. I like talking. I like dealing with people. And I don't even get to do that at my current job. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a bummer. But yeah, where are we at? It's very frustrating the way the system is set up. And I have a lot of good ideas, but not only is there probably people in power trying to prevent any good ideas from surfacing, but there's also nobody even gives a speck of attention to anything now. The only thing that gets any type of attention is something flashy, something bright, something funny. Like, you can't just grab somebody's attention via the quality of your content or the necessitative nature of your content. Of course, those things are never enough. So I don't know. And like I always say, no adults... people just don't think about this stuff. Nobody wants to work extra. Nobody wants to work extra hours. Nobody cares. If they did, they definitely want overtime. People just complain. They complain wages are too low. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. But I don't see how what I'm supposed to do is just find a second job. And you think about how unorganized that is and how little sense it makes when there's definitely extra work for me to be doing at this job. Like, why would I do that? It's just so inefficient. It doesn't make any sense. It's adding entire cycles to my car that don't need to be that way. I don't know. But yeah, I really haven't been doing good mentally. I'm having, because of what happened over the weekend and the loss associated with that, and then the loss associated with my hours getting cut, I'm just thrown for a loop. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. What I know in my head is no longer reality. I have all these things in my head, and then I have to keep telling, well, apparently they're gone. Like, it's been very hard to deal with. Very difficult. But who knows? Who knows what the future will bring? But yeah, even if I have good ideas or I have good concepts, unless I'm flashy or bright about it, unless I package it in a way that really resonates with people, nobody's going to care. That's what I don't like, is even with this show, it's like I just don't really want to show my face. Is that really a problem? Just don't get it. Like, the quality of the content is still good, so I don't understand why, I need to be showing my face and things like that. It's just weird. But that's what it takes nowadays. Standards are high. Standards are very high. What else is new, what else? I'm really getting tired. That poor sleep is already starting to show, even though I just said otherwise. I get tired driving, honestly. I know that's not a good thing, but it's honestly pretty relaxing to me at this point. I mean, not when people do crazy things, but just driving. There's something very zen about it. And I guess I really see that more because I'm not listening to music. I'm not talking to somebody. It's just me in the car. So I guess you notice these things. Oh my gosh, but yeah, I mean, it's like I get so tired when I drive. It's not a good thing. But yeah, it really should be as easy as just let me opt out of overtime and like get as many hours as I want. I don't I don't see what else should be the problem, you know. Whoa. Drifted a little bit. That's why I like driving in the right lane, though. I really don't like being in the center. It just seems to... No. No. I don't like it. It's just, I never liked it, really. And, what I was going to say earlier is we should probably be pushing it more with the gas. This is going to be right around what my old idea was, which is when the tank's at 20%. But I assume we should have gone another day without doing it, I think. That's the new mindset. But I don't know. I just felt like falling back on the old, so here we are. Just what I felt like doing. Oh my gosh. What else is there? Yeah, there's not really much. Like, I'm just very sad and confused and stuff like that. They should have like a shaker, like a massaging chair. That would really wake me up. It would keep you awake, like... I wish... Actually, I don't even know. Now that I'm thinking about that, I wonder if like, a shaking chair would actually... No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't make you drowsier. I don't know. I was just thinking, because if it's kind of, like, repetitively shaking you and it's not super strong or anything like that, I just kind of feel like in some people something like that could induce sleep, just because it's just like a thing. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm getting at, but yeah. So yeah. I'm not sure what else I really have to say. Like I said, it's a miracle I'm even still functioning. Like I don't really... I can't truly believe it. I cannot. Oh my gosh. Yep, the poor sleep quality is hitting. It's hitting, but yeah, I mean, I notice all these systemic issues and nobody else does and nobody cares. And what I was going to say is they only care about people with money now. That's all anybody cares about. Everybody always did, but I mean, it's so much worse now in terms of just the amount of people who care so much about money. I mean, that's like all they... It's all they do practically. It's all they think about practically. Like, I don't even know. So they, like, if somebody doesn't have money, they're not even gonna bat an eye at you. I think that's how most people are becoming. most people have crippling consumerism, and if they have a rich friend, that's just, I don't know, there's just more of a need for money. There's more of a need for money when it's your emotional regulator. And for me, it kind of was the emotional regulator. It is to some extent. Now I'm at a point where I know you can't spend money that much. Like, it's not easy to come by. And so, yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, we made it to the gas station. Something good. There's something good about that. Alright, I will be back momentarily, although I have been putting in the effort to cut out the recording, but there's no promises on that. Or cut out the silence, but there's no promises on that. So we'll see how it goes. As usual, right? Don't hold me to it. Alrighty. Alright, we are back. And what is new? Not much, right? Same old, same old. Same old, same old. I don't know. Oh, great. Hit at a red. Collision at retina. Shouldn't really be saying that kind of stuff, I guess, but I think it's kind of funny. Collision at red. And of course, it's a red light, and there's no reason for it to be a red light. Because there's no traffic in the other directions. And a bunch of us are just sitting here, not. Interesting. I guess I just don't get a lot of things, like, I don't know. Everything just seems very strange. The way things operate. And I don't get it. I think we will end up making just okay time. Of course, it probably depends on light luck, as always. What in life doesn't depend on light luck, I mean, what in life doesn't? Just interesting how nobody drives the way I drive, the proper way where, you know, if I can see there's a red light up ahead, I just be gradual. I just drive gradually. I just be gradual. I just drive gradually to reach it. Like, there's no reason to just maintain your same speed and then just get to the light and have to use your brakes. How am I the only person who thinks like that? You know, like, I saw these other people, they're sitting there at the light waiting, and they obviously had to use their brakes. They obviously had to downshift their transmission and everything, whereas I just kept a solid 20 mile per hour up until the light. So what, am I the only person who just like thought about that and just does it? I don't see anybody ever drive like that usually, and people obviously get mad. They get upset that, you know, I drive that way, but that's the correct way to drive. It's the least amount of wear and tear on the car. It's saving me money. Even now, it's, you know, like, I'm coming up on a red light, so I'm driving slowly. Not just like plowing up to it. Well, now, but yeah, this time I should have probably. Yeah, sadly it didn't work out the way it should have, but because like I basically, it was a little, I pushed it a little bit too much. I could have let it go. You know, that's what I could have done. What do I mean by that? I could have let it go. What does that mean? I'm saying I was driving slowly up to the light, but it was just off. Like, it changed just a little bit too late, so I still had to stop and reaccelerate, and it was close. But I assume still better for the car, you know. I mean, I just realized I could be wrong. I mean, I haven't like thoroughly vetted this, but I just feel like it's correct. I mean, and that's not like my feelings. That's based on, yeah. Also, I'm not really getting to work that great timing. I mean, I think I overestimated how great it was going to be. The gas kind of seemed slow filling up the tank. And like I said, I just end up driving pretty slowly. And so I just can't get like a grip. I don't know. And like, this is another situation. The light's red, but there's no people coming, so it shouldn't be red. I don't know why they don't just have the light camera systems on like every light. I mean, it should be illegal to just have like these outdated lights at this point. Although I obviously know it probably takes a fair amount of electricity to, you know, do a lot of these. But see, like, so that's city traffic, and I'm getting, oh, well, it had 35, but it went down to 32 because I had to do a stop. But I'm still hitting 30 miles per gallon in city conditions. You know, and that's always the thing I've said, where it's like the city estimates for mile per gallon are so bad because they're assuming you're like driving it like a race car. You know, that's what the assumption is, and I mean that's accurate because that's what you see. Like, that's how you see people driving. You see people driving like race cars. But yeah, I don't know. It's all like a bunch of nonsense. I'm coming in pretty hot. Probably gonna have to use a little break. Sorry, I'm just concentrating, doing very precise things, and I'm trying to concentrate. And I think, well, is this the same as yesterday, actually? I don't know. We'll see. Did I? Yo! No, I'm gonna be so mad. The app crashed, but I still hit punch in. No. Oh, good, it went through. Oh, good. Oh, yeah, same time as yesterday. Very nice. My favorite time. Well, my new favorite time, that is. So. Yep. Looks good. Didn't shut the car off yet. But yeah, like, so city driving, starting and stopping, traffic lights, etc., still got 33.3. Still worse than highway, but it's not that much worse. It's just because, again, most people, and it's crazy. It's crazy how, and those lights are ridiculous, because most of the time you don't even need them. They shouldn't even have traffic. No, that's obviously not. I'm not being serious. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for the lack of enthusiasm or good content or whatever. I'm not doing well, guys. I'm really not doing well, and I'm trying to, keep my head up and stuff. But like I said, a lot of very bad things lots of letdowns. It's a lot of loss and letdown. It's been 2 L's recently. Loss and letdown are the 2 L's that I've been dealing with. All right. Well, to me, that seems like another successful episode of Car Rides Witchla. And until next time, I guess Schla is out. Bye, Schla.